we'll show you a quick rundown actually while we're waiting for the race start. Jakar, like I said, starting from pole position on the medium tyre alongside KSL Going, who is also starting on the medium tyre. Lethal Berry, Bleach King, Orbit Nations, Rowing Camera, Becky Boo, Flamer, Adrian, Goods, Silver, JB, Masters. And following right at the back, ZG Swift, who finished Q1 without actually committing a lap. But hey-ho, never mind. Adrian will be starting on the medium tyres, as will KS and Jakar, so we're expecting everyone else to be a little bit faster than the others. However, bear in mind that these drivers starting on the medium tyres will be wanting to extend their stint naturally into their first part of the race. David Bossman writing to all the drivers, good luck to all and have a safe race. Naturally, we don't want anyone crashing out. Make note, we do complete a formation lap here at SynergyPWR, and we do also give warnings to anyone who does impeach the formation lap rules. Anyone that sends a clip in, anyone that's not following the rules of the the racing conduct of the formation lap will end up receiving a penalty. Orbit Nations disqualified from the formation lap. Not too sure what happened there. We'll obviously see if it was just him not starting off. If that's the case, that's fine. It's up to the drivers' discretion if they want to complete the formation lap, but anyone who does want to complete the formation lap has a right to do so. That's what matters. Drivers now landing up on the grid. Case outgoing, disqualified from the session. Believe that may have been just a slight little nudge from Jakar. We have that on stream though, so it's worth noting if any impeachment was made, the stewards can look into it and give a penalty accordingly. Jakar really shouldn't be backing up all the drivers. I mean, it's up to him. He has lead of the formation lap, but it's the potential cause of accidents as Bleach King and Rowing Camera both disqualified from the session as well. We will take a look, see what happens there. Yeah, KSL Going, absolutely no idea what happened. He hit Jakar and doesn't understand why Jakar wasn't disqualified himself. But hey-ho, we'll take a look at it, and if there's any impeachment process, we'll take a look at that. 3 people joining us here today for this session in Spain. The drivers now landing up on the grid. It's 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4, it's 5 lights, and they are a go! The drivers, here they are. Jakar is on the inside line, followed by KS outgoing. It's going to be, it seems like a relatively good start from all the drivers. The Ferrari of Orbit Nations looking like he wants to dive onto the inside line. Jakar closing up the gap though, before taking in the inside line. Turn 1 looking like a fairly smooth start from everyone. All the drivers doing a relatively good start by the looks of things. Yellow's waved in sector 1 though as we head into turn 2. The Ferrari's off though. Lethal Berry looking like he's going to be losing out on positions with Bleach King coming on the inside. Looks like Lethal Berry's going to be taking some real beneficiary from that. The Williams driver now in P4. Flamer now in P5. Becky Boo now down in P9. With Silver Surfer up in P12 and Adrian down in P13. Take a look at the position changes at the moment. The big loser here is Adrian, who's now down in P13 after losing 4 positions. Jakar though holding his P1 position, so he'll be relatively happy with that. On board with Bleach King at the moment. Looking like the Ferrari driver is going to be wanting to get full steam ahead on his slightly softer compound of tyre compared to the 2 McLaren's mediums. Hopefully they won't crash into each other at any point. Masters and Silver Surfer currently at the back of the grid. The number 25 Renault driver from Sheffield looking like he really wants to compete after crashing out of Azerbaijan. And as we end the first lap, Jakar crossing the line to take P1. He'll be currently with 127.3 is the fastest lap, naturally. KS Outgoing will be following in second, Bleach King third, Flamer, one of the biggest gainers here actually. Sector 3 yellow flags waved at the moment. It's Orbit Nations who also pits, alongside Silver Surfer, who also pits as well. That'll be for new parts. We'll see Jakar, front wing parts rather. Jakar crossing, like I said, crossing the line now in P1. Bleach King in P3 will be wanting to keep as much pace as he can. He was actually in the lead for the majority of Azerbaijan when the incidents happened, so he'll be wanting some retribution to possibly take a win. Flamer in the Sauber, naturally wanting to also get in there as well, currently in P4. JB Racer will be very happy with 7 positions gained now in P5. He'll be wanting to gain as much time as possible on the drivers in front. P6, currently Lethal Berry as well. He'll be wanting to gain some time naturally as well. The Sauber driver going a little bit wide coming out of turn 9. Now there's a bit of a scrap going on at the moment by the looks of things. There's not too much time here between Masters and Goods. Goods going a very wide, losing out to 2 positions as Master goes very wide. He'll be disappointed after that little bit of a mishap, so he'll be trying to get back now at Goods. Masters still has actually gained a position as Jakar crosses the line fastest with a 1:23.5. Masters will be very, very disappointed that he missed that out now. ZG Swift now getting fastest with a 1:23.1. ZG Swift looking like he really wants to get in there. He's in P8 at the moment. But like I said, Masters has been wanting to really scrap at the moment. He crashed out in Azerbaijan. He's wanting to actually finish a race at some point. He's made it a target to his to actually finish the race. So fingers crossed that'll happen for him. Silver Surfer now back at the grid at the moment, P14. Jakar looking like he's got a bit of a scrap at the moment with his teammate, McLaren, meaning Bleach King is going to be able to get up there and up close and personal. We're on board with Bleach King at the moment. He'll be banging it into Rich now, seen as an opportunity. As the enter lap 4, the DRS will be available for both the Ferrari and the previous McLaren in P2. Bleach King gaining, goes onto the outside before closing up KS Outgoing, going on switching many times. Don't know how he managed to keep control of that one. Swift and Lethal Berry also in a battle at the moment. Swifty now in P7. KS Outgoing's internet seems to be lagging a little bit. On board with the number 24 Ferrari, no, so off board now. Masters managed to get round Goods as well. Now there's 4/10 between the two drivers at the moment. Now Goods will also be wanting some retribution as well after making slight mishap. He also is without some front wing as well, so he'll be wanting to replace that at some point. That's down to him though. Losing a lot of time in fact on Masters. He was 4/10, he's now 2 seconds, so he's going to be wanting to possibly replace that front wing if he can. Back to the front though with this scrap between P1 and P3. It's a good battle happening at the moment. Flamer getting a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Jakar, only 3/10 of a second, who was only 4/10 of a second in front of... Sorry, try that again. As they cross the line now, Jakar crossing the line, only 7/10 in front of KS Outgoing, so there'll be DRS wide open for KS as well as for Bleach King, as Bleach King will go on board with him at the moment, looking like he wants to go for a little bit of a dive in front of KS. He goes for it, he hugs that inside line, takes P2 off KS Outgoing. The Ferrari driver now in P2 is after Jakar. Good scrapping between the Ferrari and the McLarens. Good work from all drivers, to be honest with you. KS Outgoing now is losing time on the Ferrari, maybe due to their choice of tyre. Remember, Bleach King on the soft compound tyre compared to the McLarens both on the mediums. Both McLarens electing to go with a strategy that means they could end up double stacking. Fingers crossed, won't affect their race too much. Goods now in the pits to replace that front wing. Ferrari going massively wide, losing it on the grass. He's lost it, he's going, he takes the barrier out. He'll be disappointed with that one as JB Racer comes diving up on the outside. Something not quite right with that Ferrari at the moment, he's struggling. Bleach King will be very upset with that because he was doing some good battling. Bleach King now down in P8. Flamer getting a 5-second stop go penalty. We start lap 6. JB Racer in the Red Bull, now a great beneficiary, 9 places above where he started, starting in P12 for that matter, now starting in currently in P3, 2 seconds behind the likes of Case Outgoing and Jakar. Now they're of equal pace, but he is on a softer compound of tyres, so we could have a good scrap going on at the moment. Jakar though currently in the lead at the moment with a bit of a sizable gap, 1 second, enough to not commit to DRS as we come up to turn 9. Worth mentioning ZG Swift, also a good beneficiary, 10 places above where he started. Starting from the very back of the grid in P14, now starting currently in P4. Great work from him. On board with Masters at the moment. The Renault driver looking to get some good points on board. He's currently going to get 2 points if he carries on where he is at the moment. The soft compound tyre his choice at the moment. Only a small gap of about 1.5 seconds between him and Adrian in the Toro Rosso, so fingers crossed he'll be able to close that gap down and gain some more valuable points. Bleach King naturally will be wanting to gain some points as well. Bit more points than 7 though. He was scrapping for second at one point, and then he loses the back end. On board with the Mercedes driver at the moment, ZG Swift. Great beneficiary at the moment of all the mistakes that happen with certain drivers, gaining a lot of time on the Red Bull of JB Racer, so he'll be wanting to possibly scrap in. So the number 28 driver, expecting big things from this driver after winning in Azerbaijan. He'll be taking that confidence boost all the way with him to the next race here in Spain, as well as the next race. We're in Monaco, cutting that corner very finely. You can expect us at Monaco next Wednesday, same usual time, 7:45 practice, 8:30 we start our qualifying and race coverage. You can always join us on Twitch or tune in for our highlights later in the week. Full steam ahead into lap 8. Bit of a scrap happening in the moment. The two McLarens now looking like they're wanting to go for an all-out fight. Now remember, these two McLarens actually crashed out of qualifying. They crashed out during Q3, so right at the start of Q3 as well. So they managed to set a time, but it's a bit of a battle going on. By the looks of things, Case Outgoing and JB Racer going in for a little bit of a dive there. By the looks of things, the JB Racer on board with him at the moment. Case Outgoing's internet clearly not coping very well at the moment. Orbit Nation's currently down. Lethal Beret is down. He's in the pits. He's wanting to get on a change of tyres. JB Racer still down in P3. Now Case Outgoing seems to be gaining and then losing time on Jakar. Will there be a time where he could potentially go for the lead? Adrian the 8th and the Masters both in a bit of a battle at the moment. Masters gaining time, now in P6 after overtaking Adrian. Great work from Masters. Number 25 Renault up in P6. Starting lap 9 now, Jakar in the McLaren, currently leading from pole position. Great work from him. JB Racer now up in second place after Case Outgoing decides to go for a pit at the end of lap 8. On board with JB Racer at the moment, the Renault driver currently going to be in a bit of a battle with ZG Swift at the moment, who currently is gaining time on him, even though they're on the same compound of tyre, so it could be an all-out battle. That means it gives Jakar a good opportunity to potentially finish this race in first place, just gain time on second and third place, who are scrapping for that position. Goods 1, 2, 3, 4 getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Worth mentioning at the moment, Silver Surfer currently in P13 at the moment. Now P14 at the back of the grid. He's down 3 places at the moment. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be a very good day for him. Yellow's waved in Sector 2 as Case Outgoing has crashed. Is the McLaren at the moment going to struggle to be able to get back on the road and battle? No, he's out. He's voluntarily retired on track, claiming lag has happened. So we'll review that, see what happens. But that is it. Masters, 5-second stop go penalty speeding in the pit lane. Worth mentioning now, that means the McLarens now no longer going to be able to be area 1-2. Worth mentioning though, ZG Swift now in P2. But both Jakar and Swift yet to pit still. With a 19-second gap, JB Racer is potentially going to be in a bit of a scrap for first place between him and Jakar. It's pretty well known that this is around about a 20-second pit lane, including your pit stop. So JB Racer could be the beneficiary of this if he's fast enough. Currently on lap 10. Currently leading at the moment, Jakar on lap 11 as we're coming up to turn 10. The McLaren of Jakar leading from pole position on the medium tyre that he started on, ZG Swift, also in P2. The great beneficiary at the moment, who is gaining 12 positions from the back of the grid. He starts P14, currently P2, yet he does have a pit stop remaining, and JB Racer is gaining about a second a lap. So if Swift was to pit now, he could have an opportunity to keep P2, but he's going to have to fight, as ZG Swift does actually do so at the moment. Mercedes now putting on a medium set of tyres for the Merc driver. He'll be leaving the pit lane now. We have JB Racer currently coming onto the main straight. Will he get in front of ZG Swift, who's currently in the pit lane? We're watching him at the moment, and there it is. JB Racer has overtook ZG Swift. JB Racer is in P2. Massive beneficiary there. That means Jakar has got a 22-second gap to hold on to before his next pit stop. Okay, so I'm going leaving the session after retiring. Bit of a battle at the moment here for the two Ferraris, who'll just tap each other maybe. Orbit Nations and Bleach King, as was said in the, at one point qualifying, they were just 0.004 of a second between them. The number 99 driver currently just ahead of his teammate, who nudges him off the track. Bleach King now in P6 over Orbit Nations, however it could be deemed unfair advantage. JB Racer now getting fastest lap on his medium set of tyres, 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. 122.8. Bleach King now going into the pit. Pit lane in P11. Be disappointed with that, because that now means he has committed to 2 stops. He is on the hard tyres, and he will be on those hard tyres to the end with 20 laps to go. He's going to have to really push on those hard tyres to be able to gain any points, any reasonable points in his championship fight. Bit of a scrap going on at the moment between Lethal Berry and Becky Boo. Don't know what quite happened there, if there was any nudging, but either way, Lethal Berry is now in front of Becky Boo. G Swift now going fastest in his Mercedes on the medium tyre, 122.7. Adrian is spinning out a little bit as well. Not too sure what happened there, but Masters gaining time now. He's 9th place, 4 positions above where he started. Good result for him so far. That's lap 14. Following on board at the moment, watching Becky Boo. Now on board with Becky Boo. A wheel currently telling her to pit, actually, so maybe she's needing a tyre change at some point. Not too sure, but Bleach King in the pits again. The first, another intentionally losing out. Interested to see what happened there. Good's also in the pit to change from his softs on to the mediums. As Jakar crosses the line. Actually now lapping Goods, as does JB Racer, as does ZG Swift, the fastest cars on track at the moment. Well, one starting from pole, and the other 2 starting pretty much from the back. So, great work overall from JB Racer and ZG Swift. We're both going to definitely take a good chunk of points out of Silver Surfer and KS Outgoing's tally. KS Outgoing currently not gaining any points this session after retiring. Silver Surfer in 11th with a 23-second gap between him and Orbit. So, well, with less than 20 laps to go, anything could happen, but it's certainly looking very good for Jakar, who can extend his lead in the championship so far this campaign. On board with Jakar at the moment. Now this guy has pitted already. He's now on his medium tyres after completing a soft stint. Now, not too sure whether those medium tyres could go to the end. Spain is very noted for its pretty high tyre degradation, so we'll have to see what happens. JB Racer getting up close and personal though. Only less than half a second between the 2 drivers. JB Racer is going to be with DRS now. Jakar does get fastest lap though, 122.6. I think ZG Swift could be doing a good manoeuvre here, just hang fire, because if these 2 drivers, who are both classed as aggressive drivers, not nasty drivers, but just sort of like to get in there and properly go for a good race, anything could happen between these 2 drivers if they get too close, so ZG Swift could be a beneficiary if anything bad happens. Hopefully not though. 16 laps in so far. DRS wide open on the first straight after turn 9. Red Bull gaining time on him now. He's gaining 10 positions from when he started. He's 4 tenths of a second behind JB Racer. Behind Jakar, rather, sorry. taking those curbs quite nicely, both drivers in fact for that matter. Foot flat to the floor, and DRS wide open as they start lap 17. ZG Swift getting fastest lap with a 122.5 on his medium tyres. Becky Boo now in the pits for the next selection of tyres, as is Adrian the 8th. Taking turn 9 quite well at the moment. Both the now the Mercedes also now getting DRS. He is gaining time on JB Racer, so he has enough to gain DRS. So we could have now a bit of a three-way scrap for first place again. Silver Surfer now into 10th place, so he'll be gaining a championship point at this stage of the race. Big shout out to the Renault driver of Masters again though, gaining 6 positions so far in P7, an 11-second gap between him and Lethal Berry, but more crucially 4-second gap between him and Orbit, so could potentially be on for some good chunk of points if he carries on, so it's pretty good racing so far. SynergyPWR now halfway, around about halfway anyway, just over, into this Spanish Grand Prix. Jakar currently in the lead at the moment, only just though by less than 0.4 of a second in front of JB Racer, whom himself is only less than a second in front of ZG Swift. So any person could come out and take first place as JB Racer's looking to find an overtaking spot. Good defending though from Jakar. Silver Surfer now down in P12, would like to know the reason why that is. Seems to be okay. Hopefully all's okay. Back onto our battle here for P1. JB Racer going a little bit wide, coming into turns 12, 13, 14, before heading through 15 into 16. A long right-hander to start the next lap, lap 19. Jakar currently in the lead at the moment. Very, very close is JB Racer though. There could be a good battle on here. Can't use Rich just yet by the looks of things. He's having to dip into lean, I think. Bear in mind, there's a similar gap between first, second and third now. Lethal Berry getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Look at that gap right there, not much different compared to the gap right there. These drivers are up close and personal about the same distance, but JB Racer is really looking for a gap. It does look like he's searching, he's just keeping his eye out. He'll find it. He's just got to keep battling. Back end slipping out a little bit, but holds it as he come round turn 16. Starting lap 20 now. Jakar currently in the lead again. Like I said, 0.4 between him and JB Racer, 0.5 between him and ZG. Both the Red Bull and the McLaren. They go in for a bit of a dive bomb, but holds it though. ZG's wanting to get into this scrap. Don't ever count him out. He's a good driver. He managed to hold his own in Azerbaijan in tricky conditions and win that race. Rearing Camera now down in P5 after pitting for new tyres. Pretty good race so far. 13 laps to go. 12.5 if you're pedantic. Masters now up to 6th place. Force India, the big loser here, going down to P8. Bleach King, though, after a terrible run of luck, is now in P10. So he'll be gaining a championship point if he carries on. Becky Boo will also be delighted with P9 as well. She'll be getting her first championship points of the season on board as well, with a chance to also possibly get her full driver status in Monaco. It'll be a very nice confidence boost as we start lap 21. Carrying the race here right now, the G Swift looking a little bit aggressive. He's wanting to get round this Red Bull, but Red Bull's doing well at keeping time and also keeping defence. The gap remains around 4/10 for all of these three drivers, so they're definitely wanting to break off from each other, as Flamer is now in the pits for his next selection of tyres. Good evening to our viewers who are joining this 33 lap race here in Spain at Circuit de Catalunya. At the moment, Jakar currently leading the race, keeping about a 4/10 gap, although JB Racer will get a 3-second time penalty for that. Corner cut, that means ZG Swift is going to gain some time. As JB Racer now goes for a pit, he's on to a new selection of tyres with there now 11 laps to go. He'll be on to probably a set of softs, and now gives ZG Swift a bit of time to get on with the next section of racing. In fact, I tell a lie, JB Racer is actually going on to a set of medium tyres to the end of this race. Interesting choice. Lap 22 of 23. Lethal Berry getting a 5-second stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Does mean he is in the pit lane, as is Masters. Currently on his set of medium tyres, he'll be in the pits, he'll be losing time, as will Lethal Berry, as will Adrian the 8th, who's now at the back of the grid in P13 on a set selection of soft tyres. Masters getting another 5-second stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Remember, these drivers aren't allowed pit assists, so these drivers are expected to be able to release the pit assist themselves, get in and activate the pit assist themselves, and also leave the pit box by themselves. Masters now down in P9. Becky Boo's selection of hard tyres may have earned a place into the top 8. Masters now down in P10. Shakar crosses the line on his new set of medium tyres with a 121. ZG Swift getting a 5-second stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That will not be benefiting his hope of being able to get anywhere near. Jakar now currently having to lap the Masters. He will have to leave space. Blue flag conditions will be happening for Masters. And there it is. Goods now having another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. JB Racer has overtaken ZG Swift in the pits. And only 5/10 between them. ZG Swift will be very keen to try and get past JB Racer. Bearing in mind, JB Racer is now on quite a significantly old set of medium tyres. The last thing JB Racer really wants is to... Well, the first thing he really wants to do is be able to catch up with the likes of Jakar. Anyone now, Jakar is on a old set of mediums. JB Racer, sorry, is on a newer set of mediums. So, last thing I want to do is for Swift to be potentially in a bit of a tough scrap, because with about 22-second gap between him and Jakar, if worst comes to worst, Jakar could end up not in first. So the last thing JB Racer wants to do is to lose battles with third place. Very 9 though, ZG Swift does now have a time penalty of 5 seconds. Sedgy Swift now entering the pits. Lap 24 of 33 at the moment. Jakar now currently leading by 21 seconds after JB Racer's pits. On board with Jakar at the moment in the medium set of tyres, like I said. Orbit Nations choosing to go on the hards is a good beneficiary here, although he's 25 seconds behind Jakar, or rather, sorry, behind JB Racer, and nearly 50 seconds behind the interval. So hard tyres will take him to the end. Jakar crossing the lap time now with a 1:21.7, fastest lap of the race. He will be coming up to a new pit car. A new lapped car rather. And that would be a Sauber. Probably the Sauber of Flamer. The Silver Surfer sets the fastest lap on the soft tyre of 1:21.1. No, it's Goods in P13. The hard tyre, we wanted to finish the race on that compound. He will have to get out of the way of first place, as there's a crash in Sector 2 involving Adrian, as we just saw. Goods has got to let Jakar through. He's been a little bit apprehensive about how he lets him through, but he has let him through. He needs to be a bit more careful doing that, but he's alright. Masters on board with him at the moment. The Renault driver number 25 should be reasonably happy with his performance so far, actually. Managed to get up to about P6, and yes, he did lack a pit stop, but managing to still get there and get P10. Goods now under blue flag conditions. He is not racing with Goods, so Goods should let him through, which he is doing so. Which he should be doing so anyway. Chooses to close the door. Remember, Goods is not battling with Masters. Masters is a lap ahead. Goods clearly struggling at the moment around Spain. But if he doesn't get to this corner and let someone through, he will be penalised for ignoring blue flags, surely. Yep, he ignores the blue flags, so Goods will be receiving a 5-second stop-go penalty, and I believe it's 1 point on his licence. Remember, blue flags are there for a reason. Drivers do not want to be interrupted in their goings. Unfortunate circumstance there for Goods 1, 2, 3, 4, who's down in P12. Following Jakar again, lap 26 of 33 as he starts to lap 27. Coming up now to the Ferrari by the looks of things of Bleach King in P9. Seems like a little bit of a mashup of drivers at the moment. Certain drivers only 2 laps ahead, some people 1 lap ahead. It's a bit of a mash at the moment as Goods 1, 2, 3, 4 is currently in the pits. Car 71 leading this race quite comfortably, actually, with 21 second gap between him and JB Racer on the set of mediums. Edgy Swift 27.9 seconds behind him. Presumably Bleach King will be leaving the space to let Jakar go past. With only 6 laps to go in this race, Jakar looking like he's going to be taking a comfortable 25 points with him through to the next round in Monaco. Ferrari going massively wide. No idea what he did there, but he don't think it looked like it caused like any damage, so fingers crossed he should be okay to carry on racing. Doing reasonably well at the moment. 6 laps to go here in Spain. And here comes Jakar for his final set of tyres. He will be going onto a set of softs. It's pretty much guaranteed, surely. With a 22-second gap between him and JB Racer, we just have to see how quickly JB Racer can get on those set of medium tyres round the track. With 6 laps to go, he's not planning on pitting anytime soon, surely. Will he get out in front of the McLaren, or will he just miss out? Jakar on a sort of set of soft tyres, so he will be the faster car regardless of the situation, but he's going past him, past the pit manoeuvre, past the pit lane rather, but Jakar is out on the set of soft tyres. Jakar, the big beneficiary here of a softer set of compound tyres with 6 laps to go, 5 laps to go rather, on a softer set of tyres with 1 second gap, more than necessary for DRS and a back marker potentially to take control of the scenario. It's looking like a good 25 points for the McLaren driver. Bossman making a comment claiming that it was ridiculous that the race directors need new glasses to see that Goods was clearly moving over to let him past. We will review the footage. We did see all of the incidents, so I'm pretty sure that everyone can take a look. The stewards will be able to take a look and make a decision upon it, but the ignoring blue flag stands, and the rule states if you go past 3 stewards posts under blue flag conditions and don't let the car go past, then you receive a time penalty and points on your licence for ignoring blue flags. He did go past 3 stations and did not give the penalty and did not give the position, so therefore he receives that penalty, but naturally we will look into it if there is a disparity. Page in the 8th, crashing out of the race. Unfortunate incident for him. Lap 29 of 33. Blue flag conditions potentially happening for the number 10 driver in 10th place, Silver Surfer. Force India driver will be extremely disappointed to being lapped by his championship rival. A bit of a really bad weekend for the Force India driver, however he lets his championship rival go past. JB Racer also let past as well, potentially as they go through the DRS straight. There he goes. Really unfortunate for the Force India driver. He will be potentially getting a point, though, going into Monaco, so all hope not lost. But Jakar looking like he's going to be taking a significant point as the Force India of Silver Surfer going off the track. Letting Bleach King take 10th place. He won't be getting a championship point now. I have definitely had the commentator's curse there. I am so sorry, Silver. Lap 30. A 4-second gap now building for the McLaren driver of Jakar and JB Racer. I think JB Racer will just have to settle for 2nd place. The Red Bull will be very happy though with 18 points, as he will be overtaking Silver Surfer, who's currently down in 11th after causing a little bit of a spin out into turn 13. Not too bad though, with 2 laps to go. Jakar, currently on the soft tyre, will be finishing the race on the soft tyres. JB Racer following in 2nd in the Red Bull, and the Mercedes OZG Swift taking another podium with him. Back-to-back podiums will be absolutely fantastic, but he is 3 seconds Goods 1 2 3 4 gets a 3-second time penalty. Swift will be 3 seconds in front of Orbit Nations. He is on the softer compound of tyre on the mediums, but anything could happen. Orbit Nations currently in 4th. He'll be very happy with 4th actually. Actually starting in P5, so he'll be pretty thrilled with P4. Starting P8, will be finishing P6 at this race. It's good work from him. Becky Boo will be very happy with P8 actually, getting a solid 4 points on her board as a currently reserve driver. But it'll definitely help on a quest to become a full-time driver. Lethal Berry currently up in 7th. He'll be disappointed actually, losing out on 4 positions. He did start in P3, I believe, so 4, 5, 6, 7 puts him down significant places. Bit of unfortunate circumstance with Flamer getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I think we need to give big shout-outs though to P2 and P3 though, because ZG Swift started from the back of the grid to finish 3rd at this rate, with 1 and a bit laps to go. He's currently in P3 after starting last, and JB Racer started 3rd from last and is in P2. I think that's a great effort from both the Red Bull and the Mercedes driver. Both deserve good recognition. Silver Surfer has now retired from the session. Unlucky from him. He's decided to retire in the pit. His race is over. On board with Jakar at the moment in the McLaren. Currently a good gap build, about 7 seconds, just a bit less than 7 seconds actually, between him and JB Racers. We're about to start the final lap of this 50% race here in Spain. Number 36 McLaren out qualifying and beating his teammate. So I'm pretty sure he'll have a high standing here in This is now in 9th place, 14-second gap between him and Becky. So Becky, the reserve driver of Renault, is actually beating the full-time driver of Masters. Masters will be a little bit keeping an eye out on the quality of Becky if she does get a full-time seat. Overall, Masters, I think with his overall performance to finish P9, get points and finish the race for the first time this season, I think he'll be very, very happy with that result. Coming into sector 3 now, coming up on the very final. Coming through turns 14, 15, and then turn 16. Jakar in the McLaren will be celebrating because he crosses the line to win the Spanish Grand Prix here in the Synergy Invitational. Congratulations to him. 8 seconds behind though, JB Racer. Fantastic win for him to get 2nd place. Unbelievable effort to go from P12 to P2. He will be absolutely thrilled to get on the podium. And another person that will be absolutely thrilled to get on the podium as well. Bit of a delay between him and 3rd place, and 2 seconds between him and Orbit, who is currently down in P4. But ZG Swift, the number 28 Mercedes, winning in Azerbaijan, and it's back-to-back podiums for the Mercedes driver. He comes down past turn 16 and celebrates surely, crossing the line, celebrating with Mercedes. P3 for him. Fantastic result. Orbit Nations quickly following though in the Ferrari for P4. Here comes Rowan Camera, the Force India driver, will be getting some fantastic points for the Force India team. P5 getting a solid point system for him there, and then Flamer. Fantastic result for him as well, starting in P8, finishes in P6. He'll be happy with that one. A guy potentially disappointed though, Lethal Berry. He's starting in P3, finishes in P7. So overall, a bit of a poor result considering where he started, but I'm sure a good solid points on his tally won't hurt. And a fantastic result. Out-qualified and wins P8. A fantastic drive from Becky Boo, finishing this race overall. We finished SynergyPWR's Invitational here in Spain. And now we go to the podium. It's an all-British podium again here. McLaren Honda will be celebrating a cracking P1 for Jakar, extending his points tally. But JB Racer will be overtaking in P2. He now takes second place in the standings. And ZG Swift will be extremely happy as well with P3. So there's your classified results without penalties induced, if necessary. Jakar takes P1 naturally, as we've said beforehand. Bleach King will be happy with P10 actually in the Ferrari. Masters extremely happy with P9 as well, followed by Becky Boo P8. Lethal Berry in the Williams extremely happy with P7. Great result for Flamer in P6, with rearing camera the Force India driver getting P5, his teammate Silver Surfer retiring out of the race in P11. Orbit Nations in P4, and a fantastic result overall for JB Racer and ZG Swift, both getting P2 and P3, starting from pretty much the back of the grid. Fantastic result all around for these drivers, which concludes our race here on this Wednesday evening here in Spain. Thank you very much to everyone that has tuned in here for the SynergyPWR Invitational Event, round 5 in Spain. Tune in next Wednesday, where from 7:45, 8:30 qualifying race coverage begins, where we tune in for Monaco. A great race to finish so far this campaign. Thank you very much, guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.